All right. So, what we're going to do here is draw. I drew some feathers. I took some references. I actually have feathers here. The main one is not the feather I use. I used an eagle feather reference. But I have some feathers here that kind of show you what I was thinking of. Now, on camera, you can probably see that there's this it's so beautifully grid-like, right? Like, because all the feathers are coming this direction, right? This is probably easier. They're shooting out this direction. And as you can see, I'm drawing in that same direction, right? I'm going. But the trick is this shimmer. There's a shimmer here. There's a shimmer, and it comes down. You have more light here, and then you have this dark spot here, right? You can see that dark spot. I'm trying to match it. See, I'm trying to copy that dark spot with this dark spot. But today we're going to talk about feathers and their importance in the Native American culture, as well as ink this thing. So you can see it's very rough. I literally I drew this on my bed, just rough sketch. I could go in, what I usually go in with the fine details first, and then I blacken everything I need afterwards. We can definitely do that. Let me find my eraser. One of these kind of putty, Play-Doh-y style ones. And I'm going to just roll it over, get rid of all the graphite and lead that might kind of just be hanging out on top of the paper. So once you have your eraser and you erase whatever details you need to get erased. I prefer lighter drawings like I did here with Joseph Pierce. Joseph Nez from the Nez Pierce. Joseph from the Nez Pierce here is a very cool drawing because I really enjoyed inking it, but I also like the fact that the drawing of him is not highly contrasted, right? It's not as dark as this. And that's because I kind of wanted to make it feel like it was a sketch to prepare for the rest of this. I want people to open up and go, oh, these are all Native American, drawings of these characters. How cool. That's it. So yeah, anyways, let's get back to the... Okay, now that we're all done penciling, I'm going to be starting my favorite part, which is the inking process. And that's what this is all about. I'm using my Copic 0.03 pens. I had to order these online because I couldn't find one who had them. They're super great for fine detail, and there we go. As long as you don't push too hard, they'll last quite some time. I want to also apologize for my hair getting in the way, but it's just a short period. I'm going to start down here at the bottom of the shaft, which is considered the quill. And you might know the quill because for hundreds of years we've been writing with quills and sending off great documents, to the world with feathers. Feathers are super unique because feathers are used universally everywhere. But today we're going to talk about the Indigenous and the Native Americans who use feathers and what they might be used for. Now I always start with the shaft because it gives me an area to start with. Now these are the after feathers, and then this down here is the quill. And you see these little rivets? That's what I'm going to draw. Not this shiny line that I'm going up and down with, but these little rivets right there. I think that gives a really good personality. The feathers for these birds. And the feather is interesting because each feather is unique. There's a primary feather and a secondary feather for flight and stuff like that. And see, you can see now that I'm drawing these little lines down here where the shadows would be for the quill. I think it gives really good, personality. And now I'm drawing the after feathers. Now, the after feather is actually used in pillows a lot. You know them as down feathers. These are the earliest stages of feathers growth. Very soft and makes wonderful pillows. But yeah, those are always at the bottom. And then we have these here that are barbs and they tear. And look at that, boom, torn apart. But here's the cool thing. because each one of those strands of barbs have more barbs on them, kind of intertwining into each other, they lock in and kind of restitch so that way they can catch air and keep the bird in flight. The interesting thing is that feathers actually start to develop in the ectodermal stage, the outer layer of the embryo stage, right? There's the endo, meso, and then there's the ecto, which is kind of like the nails and hair and then feathers for birds. Funny story, I was in the Philippines in a village in Davao, and a young little boy came over with this little styrofoam box with some salt on top and asked if I wanted to buy it, and I said sure. Came out a little egg, didn't know it was called balot. And if you don't know what balot is, it's this duck, I believe it's duck egg that was put in the ground, and it kind of grows, but then it's warm still. Anyways, when I got mine, I was like, okay, an egg, cool, I could do it. I cracked it open, and the whole village had already been around me, and I was like, oh boy, they want me to eat this thing. And I looked down, and there's these two eyes looking at me. This bird was winking at me, and I was like, isn't this supposed to be dead? And they just started all laughing, and they're like, eat, eat. And the boy grabbed some salt and put it on that bird's eyes, and the thing freaked out. And I was like, what are you doing? And I had to eat that thing. And I won't lie, it was amazingly delicious. It was like chicken and egg together. Very difficult thing to do in my life. But when you have a whole village around you, you can't say no. Anyways, to the indigenous. Sorry for the sidetrack. Now, I love feathers, and I love how the indigenous use feathers, because they don't only just use it for their regalia and for ceremonies and stuff, which their regalia and headdresses are so beautiful. It is just mind-blowing, because they have to pay quite a bit or wait and hope to get some of these feathers in nature, because eagles are protected. And to have that many eagle feathers on your headdress, I mean, that's something. That says a lot. But they don't just use eagles. They also use others like crows and other, I imagine, owls and other birds. And each community or of indigenous will use something of however it fits to their tribe. And that's really cool. So there's a lot to learn with this, and I don't know them all, but what I do know, I'm going to share with you right now. I'm drawing the eagle feather, or a eagle feather, and eagle feathers are actually the link and connection to the Creator. Eagle feathers are considered the link between the earthly and the spiritual realm. And eagles are revered for their strength, keen vision, their ability to soar at great heights. And that's one of the key points, is that because they go to such great heights, they're considered to be the closest bird to God, to the Creator, right? And they symbolize freedom, wisdom, and the pursuit of a clear, vision of life, I guess you would say. And so much more than that. To each specific community or indigenous community or tribe, they have different uses for different feathers and different birds, different regalia and ceremonial needs. If you've ever been to a powwow, you're going to see everyone wearing feathers, because feathers they dance around on the head and around the body, and they give this playful gesture of what is it? I don't even know how to explain this. They're a part of the person. They are the person, and the person becomes part of that bird when they dance. And that's some amazing stuff. That is just wildly cool to watch. If you've never been to a powwow, I highly recommend go. They're very welcoming. The indigenous people, they don't have anything about, you shouldn't feel weird about going to these things at all. If you're not indigenous, which I'm not. I'm Korean American, so I don't fit in place at all. But they are so kind and so loving. Now, a friend of mine has some feathers, eagle feathers, and what I didn't know was that you just can't go and grab them and pick them up. Yeah, because feathers are so important to the indigenous culture that you have to request to even pick up someone's eagle feather or feather if it's that important to them, because if you just had anyone pick it up and whoops, I messed up there, look at that, you're not paying attention. Well, good thing is that ink can, you know, fix itself if you just know how to use it right. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of mask this with a few techniques. But I ended up going to pick it up, and he's like, whoa, whoa, no, gotta hand it to you. I was like, whoa, I didn't know it was that important. And my respect level for the feather and these kind of things went skyrocketing because I'm like, whoa, I didn't, I thought feathers are feathers, I'm naive in that way. But then he began to explain, and man, I just have to say, if I ever got an eagle feather, I'd be so proud of myself. If an eagle like came down and just gave it to me. But they also have really cool healing properties, right? Because when they're in rituals, the spiritual and emotional and physical healings are often wafted by the feathers, and the feathers are used in these kind of ways. I don't have much details and understanding of that. I'm still learning that, but that's something I've picked up and been kind of told that they've been used for, and I would love to see it in practice for such things. Um, I'd probably be the idiot guy who'd just go get an ostrich feather because it's like the longest, like 18 feet long ostrich feather, and just be like, "Hey guys, I got you guys all beat. Screw your eagle feathers. Here's my ostrich," and just get like 100 of those things. I would look so cool. I'm just kidding. They'd probably be yelling at me. But yeah, I mean, feathers are great because they're used for like insulation. They're used to like keep the eggs warm and all kinds of different things. You can tell the health of a bird by the feather and in its structure, its coloration and stuff. Okay, quick drawing tip: when you make mistakes about in drawing lines, the penning it and inking it, you can actually cover it up by just creating more shadow and darkness, and oftentimes you can hide those mistakes like I'm doing here. And you can see that I've cross-hatched the lines of the feather down below on the left side more, so I'm going to continue with drawing a thicker dark line on the left side of the shaft. On the right side I keep it more um, where the light's coming from. And though the Native Americans and indigenous cultures use feathers, many other cultures actually use feathers as well. The Paleolithic age had some, right, in their art. Lascaux in France actually depicts some scenes that include feathers, and that's just some serious old art. And then, of course, Egyptians and ancient China and Pacific Islanders use it. I mean, everybody uses feathers. They're super special, extremely important to many cultures. And right now, I'm actually coloring in to make these feathers a lot darker, and I'm going the same direction as you can see, because I want to still keep. If I cross hatched here, it would look way too messy, and it would break the structure of the feather. So as long as I keep it like that, it still gives us a fuzzy, feathery like texture to the top and tip, while still creating a darker contrast. Now, I'm not being perfect here. I am just coming in to draw a sketch because I'm practicing. This is a practice sketch. This isn't a final product. I would have totally different paper and stuff to do that. This is a passion project right here that I want to do. And right here, I'm just going to go in with a little bit darker shadowing on the side, and that's it. I'm done with it. I'm pretty much done with the feathers. Outline some more of these after feathers, and we're done. I hope that this was a little informative to you, fun to watch, and helped you a little bit to understand a little bit more about the indigenous use of feathers and eagle feathers and what feathers are. Here is one with the shaft on the outer side, and then we go up to the quill and the after feathers, a close-up of those. We come over here to the right, and we'll see the close-up of the barbs, how they kind of intersect and create the connection between each other. And then this was just a real rough sketch, and information about the longest feather. I didn't ink these because I like to have pencil in the background of my drawings, just for people to know that it's a practice. It's a rough sketch, but it's also something fun to look at. And this is the final feather that we did. Lines shooting outwards, but also have cross hatching to give it a little bit of a shadow. And that's it, guys. I hope that you liked this and it was informative and you enjoyed it. If you like it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you for watching.